Watch it, folks. Here we go. Slight delay there as I hit the record button. A little bit strange. How the hell are you all doing? Welcome to Cats and Conspiracies. It's your man here, doing what I can to hunt out and find the occasional rare gem for you to watch. Because if you're anything like me, and why wouldn't you be? Because I'm the bollocks. You will know and you will feel that Hollywood has completely betrayed us and it is completely dead. It is devoid of ideas, it is devoid of artistry, of creativity, and of passion. It is now a corporate project stamping out the same product for the normies to consume, which sadly they do. And then they're hungry again. Consume product, hungry, go back and consume another product. Let me just show you. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, before I do talk about it, I am going to say, in case you're wondering, but Paul, that is clearly not a masterpiece. No, I'm not saying it's a masterpiece. A lot of these little films that I'm talking about, I probably wouldn't describe any of them as being masterpieces, but they are definitely pieces of art. There's definitely some passion behind them, and there's definitely some soul and creativity that has gone into them on the no doubt limited budget that they've got. But yeah, if you're anything like me, you're just sick to death. Like I feel so, I don't know what the right, like hopeless. I don't even think hopeless is the right word because hopeless would kind of imply um, that maybe there's something better. Maybe there is something coming, but I'm beyond hopeless. I think I've accepted uh, how bad the mainstream cinema artistry game is and how awful it is now. And what's happening at the minute is everyone, not everyone, of course, but people are raving all about Alien Earth. And I literally couldn't give two less shits about yet another, yet another remake, requel, prequel type thing that is out there. And it's streaming. I just have the only interest I have in it is hearing once again about here is another example. Here is more physical proof of the lack of artistry and the lack of creativity and the lack of ideas and the lack of passion um, that Hollywood has for a product like this. And I know it's not like in cinemas or anything like that. So you could argue and say, yeah, but this isn't like mainstream, you know. But it is mainstream. It is mainstream. It's out there. They're advertising it. You know, Disney own it. They own everything. And from what I've seen, it looks and sounds terrible. And the funny thing is, I've still got mates that I thought were a little bit more switched on, and I'm starting to wonder if they're actually a little bit more normy than I even realised. And one of them asked me the other day, he's like, "Oh, you watching Alien Earth?" I went, "Nope, and nor will I be either." And he's like, "No, you'd like it. You'd like it. It's got all those, things in it. It's got all the original things. All the original designs." I'm just like, is that what you think makes something good? That they've copied the original bits from it. That's just them sitting there going, remember the control room from Alien? Remember the way the letters appear on the title screen? Remember the alien? Remember the face huggers? Remember Ash? Remember the crew from Alien? Remember what they look like? Remember? These guys look the same as them. Remember the pulse rifles? Remember all the things you loved? Well, here they are again. No, not interested. And I've been listening to Gary from Nerdrotic and Drinker obviously talking about it. Um, they're the same. Actually, the Drinker, I think he came out and said he thought the opening episode wasn't too bad, which is kind of high praise these days. But no, oh, it just looked terrible. It looked absolutely. It's not my. I just can't get over how soulless this entertainment uh, has become. And if you think back to Alien, as Ripley said, that creature took out it took the whole crew out, picked them off one by one. It hid in the shadows and it picked them off one by one. aliens. The Marines went in a bit cocky at first, some of them. They were tooled up, armor piercing rounds, standard, pulse rifles, flamethrowers. Um, these guys were hardened badasses, as Burke said, and they struggled. Everyone was taken out. The Marines were completely destroyed, even when they were tooled up. Now, I have seen and heard that in this Alien Earth thing, one of these children put into a hybrid Blade Runner type Ash style robot, whatever it is, takes out one of these aliens. I don't call them xenomorphs. I don't know if anyone else is on board with this, but this whole xenomorph thing really pisses me off. They are referred as xenomorphs once in Aliens, okay, and that's by Gorman, and he says we believe a xenomorph may be involved, and at that stage, they don't really know what they're dealing with. Only from Ripley's description, most of them don't believe it anyway. It wasn't like their name; it wasn't their species. It's a word for xeno, alien, unknown, morph, changing. It was a generic word um, to describe what these things were. It wasn't their name. And ever since then, oh, the xenomorph. No, I don't call them that. I just call them aliens. Okay, that was the name of the damn film. All right, that's what I'm calling them. So, yeah, all just totally depressing. So anyway, what was I saying? Yes, I'm hearing that one of these characters, one of these whatever the hell they are, one of these synthetics with a human child brain, which I would imagine would be quite scared of things, you know, being a child. No. She takes the cutting device from a paper cutter, and if you remember those things, you have them at school. You used to have them at school. I'm not quite sure why they would have them in some futuristic alien world. I'm sure there'd be something better than them, because I remember them being a bit crap. But she takes the blade off of one of them and somehow puts it on her back, which I don't quite know how that would work. I mean, it would just fall off, wouldn't it? Like, what are you doing? It would bounce around all over the place. And then she takes the head of an alien off with it, apparently, and kills it. This is insane, all right? The Marines, the colonial Marines, were shitting themselves when they came up against these things. They were terrified. Ripley, we are leaving. Get your team out of there, Gorman. You know, these people were terrified. I did not see anyone going, yeah, badass with a paper cut. I did not see any of that. They were out. They pulled out of it. And if you actually have ever looked at one of these paper cutter things, all right, the edge of it is not. It's not like a blade. It's not like a sword. It's not a pointed edge like. I'll do a picture of it. You know, like that sort of shape. It's flat. It's like that, but at a slight angle. So as it comes down and cuts paper, this slight angle here is like the sharp bit. It's not the whole thing. It's just the edge of it is sharp. But if you were to take that off, you're essentially going to have a flat blade like this. I mean, yeah, it's going to. You smash someone around the head with it, it's going to kill them. It's going to hurt. Then we're not talking about people, are we? We're talking about aliens. We're talking about this perfect organism, as Ash described it, that can't be killed very easily and has acid for blood, which I seem to remember ate through the deck of LV-426, the the flooring panel there. It was eating through the ship in Alien, and when it got on Hicks's like armor at the end, it was eating through that more than easily. So I think with the paper cutter, probably not the greatest material in the world, it would melt through that pretty quickly. So yeah, not impressed. And one of the other things I heard, I haven't seen the footage of it yet. I think I've seen a picture. Apparently she like lassos one of them with like some kind of noose and like holds it in a mouth or something. I just go away. No, just horrendous. I do wonder if like this era that we're in now, where every single damn thing is being remade, in the future, if we still exist, which at the minute is highly doubtful if we'll still be around, I do wonder if people look back and go, oh, there was this time in the late 2000s, late 2000s, early 2000s, around like the 2020s, where there was just like no creativity. There was we call it like the dark zone, the dead zone. We call it the age of non-inspiration. They will have a name for it, and they'll go and they were remaking all of these like classic films from the past, even some that weren't even that great. They were making prequels, series, films. They were doing all these things, and it was like this really crazy time. I wonder if that's the way they'll talk about it, and hopefully we can just wipe all of these remakes, all of them. We can just somehow get rid of them. I don't know. I don't take them as canon. I don't know about you guys. To me, they're not canon. They're just it's just like a bad fever dream that's going on, especially with my beloved Aliens. Kills me every time they stick another nail in the Aliens coffin. It kills me. Alien and Aliens, now they're masterpieces. Aliens is my number one film. I should dig out. I've got the. This is a bit sad. I've got the Nerf special edition pulse rifle. I should dig that out, and I can get that out when I'm next ranting about Aliens. How amazing it is! Alien 3 killed me. You had to be there, but you had to understand how invested people were in Hicks, Newton, Ripley, and Bishop. So invested, and then to come along and kill them off screen was unforgivable, horrendous. And I could never forgive them that. And as far as I'm concerned, there's Alien and there's Aliens, and that's where it ends. Ripley sails off into the moonset or the sunset, whatever it is. But I do, looking at all these prequels and things that come along, bearing in mind that Alien Earth is supposed to be a prequel, not that anyone cares, not that I care, but of all the prequels that have come along, I've always got issues with prequels because prequels have a problem. Prequels have an issue. If you let's take The Hobbit again. No, I didn't watch it. But if you take The Hobbit, every character that's in The Hobbit that's in Lord of the Rings, in The Hobbit, which was filmed after Lord of the Rings, is essentially invincible. Therefore, you have no investment in their character because you know that none of them are going to die because they're all in Lord of the Rings. So they're never going to be in any peril. You may be invested in them, but you know they're going to be fine. And that's one of the big problems with prequels. And also, my thing with prequels is if that story was important, that would have been a film first. It would have gone in order. I just feel it's okay. We've ended the story. There's nowhere to go with anything that happened after that. That story is done. Hang on a minute. What happened 1,000 years before that? I don't care. I'm not interested. So my question is, I have one answer for this. Is there a prequel / spin-off that can justify its existence that is so good and so beloved it justifies being made? And I only have one answer for this. This is what I think it is. Hook with Robin Williams. Hook was such a surprise hit. Of all, I mean, there are tons of spin-offs from. Oh, my mind's gone blank now. Yeah, there are absolutely tons of spin-offs from Peter Pan. Loads of them. But Hook, like what? It was such an incredible take on this story. And a lot of the times when they do these spin-offs, it's like, oh no, this is the story of another character. Oh, I just don't really care. But Hook just worked. It's such a touching film. Incredible score, incredible visionaries, incredible ideas, passion that went into it. So much fun. Great characters. Everybody loved it. That's the only prequel spin-off that I can think that justifies itself. If you guys can come up with any prequels or sequels, prequels or spin-offs that justify themselves, hit them up in the comments because, hey, I'm looking for that answer. So, there's my rant for today. What do I have for you today? I've got this. No such thing as monsters. This is an interesting little film. I'm gonna have to give this a rewatch because there's a few things in this that you'll notice on a second viewing. This is actually quite again, it's not a masterpiece, so don't quote me. I'm not saying it's a masterpiece. this is quite a fun film where I actually got a bit invested in these characters. You've got this couple, they're quite a decent couple. They go camping. She's agoraphobic, she doesn't like going outside. Hey, I'm totally down with that. I get where she's coming from. And they go to this. It's quite funny because it's one of those films where you're just like, okay, there's things in this film that would just wouldn't affect me because I wouldn't respond to them. So they go off camping in this woodland, which is like 1 billion miles from anywhere, the Australian woodland, and they pull up. I think they're in their like a camper van, RV type thing. Yeah, they're cool. They're chilled. He goes off photographing things because you do that, don't you? You leave your girlfriend alone in a strange wooded place, not. So he buggers off photographing things. She's a bit spooky in this RV. That day, it's been like I say, it's been a while since I watched it, but another camper van pulls up, and this is what would happen if I were there. I would be like, "Are you kidding me? I have just driven 4 billion miles to be in the middle of the woodland because I hate being around you cretins, and someone has pulled up next to me. I would have been keys in the ignition, engine on, bang. I'd have been gone out of there. Okay, end of movie. But no, not with these guys. This family pull up in this camper van. They're banging on the door. Hey, come on out. We're so friendly. Come and join us for drinks around the fire and all this sort of stuff. I'd be like, no thanks, and I'd be out of there. I would be. I think my suspicion and lack of trust and the amount of horror films I've watched kind of keeps me safe. I had a similar incident a while back. I was jogging down this little country road, and there was a map. There was like a big flooded bit, and I was like, "What am I going to do here? I'm going to have to run through it." And this car pulled up next to me. There was a woman and 3 blokes in it. And she was like, "Oh, do you want a lift? We'll give you a lift through it." And straight away, I was like, "Nope, I've seen this horror movie. I know how this ends." And I said, "No, I'm fine. Thank you very much." And I jogged through the water. But I've seen enough horror films to know when a situation is dodgy. And when people bang on your door and they're all super friendly, "Oh, come and have a drink with us," my little horror film alarm would go off. So anyway, what happens? They go and sit with these people, and you can clearly see they're a little bit weird, bit of a weird family. They then wake up. She's chained up in the RV. He's vanished. We don't know what the hell's going on. And there's a very, very strange person who communicates through a puppet talking to our protagonist in the RV. And things just get a bit weird from there on in. We then have the situation where she's got to try and, win over her captor, maybe wait for that perfect moment of escape, all the while not knowing what's going on with her boyfriend. So they can use what's possibly going on with her boyfriend, to keep her under control. Mess around, we're going to mess him up. So this film, I think, is definitely worth a watch. Last time I checked, it was still watchable on Prime for nothing if you've already got the Prime membership. And who hasn't? We've all bloody got it, haven't we? Definitely worth a watch. Definitely a bit of fun. You will get invested in the characters. And yeah, pretty solid ending, I would say. And pay attention to the ending because there's one bit specifically in it where I was like, did I see what I just thought I saw? Did that just happen? Because that means that this person is, I'm not going to say what it is, but what I will say is what's going on in this film is actually, I'm sure there's other films this has happened in. I can't think of any off the top of my head. But I was like, I can't think of a time when I've actually seen this in another film. So there's definitely a bit of an unusual idea there. And there's some good laughs that bit had along the way as well. And also, the thing that made me laugh was if you're a man, if you know a little bit about performance anxiety, put yourself under that kind of stress and then look at this film and some of the things that happen in it. And you might think to yourself, okay, yeah, I think I'd have to try and make myself pretty damn relaxed in that situation. Might not be so easy though. But yeah, I think this is definitely worth a watch. This is a bit of fun. And I actually struggled to find it when I couldn't think of the title. I kept thinking it was like I Believe in Monsters or Monsters Aren't Real. I just couldn't remember the title. And there's a lot of titles that are very similar. And I knew the actress in it. She wears like a prosthetic arm. She's got like a cool like grabber arm, which is pretty cool. And I knew that she was in it, so I had to search like actress with prosthetic arm because it was clearly real. And then I managed to find who she was. And then I went through a list of films. She's done absolutely loads of films, but this was the one I was looking for. So yeah, definitely go and check it out and let me know what you think, because I think it's a bit of fun. I think it's worth a watch. And as always, guys, if there's anything you want to rant about, please hit me up in the comments. Tell me what you think about the state of Hollywood. I know I'm being harsh, but I'm just so damn black-pilled now. If they brought out a masterpiece, which, let's face it, we know is not going to happen, I'm probably not going to watch it because they've hurt me too many times now, and there's no coming back from it. But anyway, guys, there's your rant for today, and a little bit of a hidden gem for you to go and check out. If you enjoyed my ramblings, please give us a like and hit the subscribe button. If you didn't enjoy my ramblings, you can still do the same, because I'm like a puppy. I will enjoy the attention however it comes to me. But otherwise, guys, enjoy your day, and let me know if you go and check out No Such Thing as Monsters. Take it easy, guys, and I'll see you again soon.